Hello, Guru Nation. Welcome back to another episode. This is also going to go on the podcast. I've got Monica Quitiva on. Monica is site director for one of my clinics. She's now lead CRA for one of our breast cancer studies. She's CRC Academy instructor. What else are you that I'm not mentioning right now? Very busy. Very busy woman.
Yeah.
So Monica and I, we wanted to do a video slash podcast to kind of give an update of what's going on. Not necessarily like related to coronavirus, although you can't ignore talking about this, but like just the industry right now, right in the summer of 2020, as things start opening back up. uh, Jobs are back. Like research jobs are here. People are getting interviewed. People are getting hired. Studies are here. Monica also gets studies for our sites. So there anything you don't do, Monica, in clinical research?
Well, a lot. I think,
For now.
I
For now.
think, yeah.
For now. So we wanted to kind of we wanted to talk a little bit about these things. And so first of all, what are you seeing on your end with studies, and then with jobs maybe?
With the studies, I have seen, I have never stopped seeing studies, to be honest. The only thing that probably is that we start like the site selection visits. Some sponsors are doing it online, and some sponsors chose to put it on hold. But still, the study is still gonna happen. So it's not like we have received any message saying that our study is going to close or anything. Nothing like that. I have been doing a lot of feasibility forms. In fact, the last one I sent was yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, so studies, plenty of studies. Plenty of studies in across pretty much all of the therapeutic areas, and especially we specialize in CNS, and I have seen a lot.
That's good, and that's good because that is what leads to jobs in this industry. And we both know people that have been furloughed, laid off. Those people, at least the two or three that I know, already got jobs within the same month.
Yeah,
One of them actually, I'm interviewing her tomorrow. I don't know her personally, but she's so this would be another person. I don't actually know her, but I know of her. She got laid off as a coordinator because of the at the beginning of this pandemic, and she took all the advice like from the videos. Hey, take a Coursera course. Start, adding skills to your CV. She wanted to be a CRA. She asked me, how does a CRC go from being a CRC that's laid off to being a CRA? And I said,
yeah,
look at your CV. Okay? The people who are getting your CV cannot be mind readers. They don't know if they get your CV and it just says coordinator what you've done. Because a coordinator at one clinic, like a global clinical trials, can literally do everything and run the whole show, and a coordinator at UCLA, at a big academic medical center, maybe doesn't even deal with patients. Maybe all they do is data entry. So how in the world is a job recruiter gonna know, just based on the fact that you're a coordinator, what you've done? Because in
exactly.
order to be a CRA, you need transferable skills. So I told her, hey, what have you done? Have you ever reviewed your colleagues' work? Have you ever reviewed your own work before a monitoring visit? These are things CRAs do. And so she changed her CV and got hired within the month of April.
Yeah, it's the same as I have. I know about many people that they were laid off, and then in fact that was convenient for them because they were laid off. They paid for their laid off, and then on top of that they were called from the same company but they didn't went back to the same company because they got better offers out there.
You
So
see that I knew that was gonna happen. I'm glad you in our daily meetups, which now we're doing every month. And if you want
yeah.
to get notified of these things, Every month you have to subscribe to the blog, theclinicaltrialsguru.com. You have to go there, type in your email address, click subscribe. Now you'll be notified of every month we're doing these daily meetups. I want to talk, or not daily meetups, monthly meetups. I do want to get back to our daily meetups. But we mentioned in our daily meetups last month that this was going to happen.
Yep.
We had very senior CRAs come on and tell us this exact same thing. I even said, hey, all these big CROs that are short-sighted right now because they get Wall Street, there's earnings right now. They want to look good. Even Walmart. Okay, look, this is Walmart. Walmart is not allowing returns on anything in their store that's not a gardening section, which makes no sense. But if you think about it, it makes sense because for everything there's a good reason and a real reason. Okay, so Walmart's good reason is, hey, we don't want our customer, we don't want to put this back on the shelf and our customers get sick. Okay, yeah, okay, that's a good reason. The real reason might be, hey, we're trying to protect our earnings for this next quarter on Wall Street. Right? So think about these things. Same thing with the CROs, guys. There's always a good reason and a real reason. The good reason is, hey, we're losing, everything's on hold because of coronavirus. The real reason is probably the same thing as Walmart. We want to make sure we don't get killed in our quarterly report because a lot of these directors are paid in stock. So I knew that would happen, that people getting furloughed, laid off. Then the same company wants them back because they're a good asset, and good CRA, good CRC are extremely hard to find. But now a competitor says, you know what? I don't care as much about my quarterly results because this person, I need them. They're good. And we have like a really good asset right now. So I'm glad. I didn't even know you were going to mention that. But I'm glad you did because it's like our prediction.
Yeah, she got 3 offers. One of this got 3 offers. And I mean, she doesn't even know what to do because each of them is one is better than the other one. So it's difficult, but it's nice to be in that difficult situation, not to knowing which opportunity is better.
That's right.
So she's actually grateful that happened, and I heard that of 2 people that both of them experienced the same thing. And then our students from the CRC Academy are getting hired, and they haven't even finished the class.
That is really good news. So explain the good news you had for me earlier today about one of our students in the CRC Academy and what happened to them, like how they got the opportunity. And we need to interview this person too.
Yeah. So she started applying. We're in quarantine, and she was, every time she was applying for a job, she was consulting me like, what do you think? This is good, blah, blah, blah. We work on her CV and everything. And then she started applying, and she received today an offer to work, to be a lead CRC for a COVID study. But she's going to be the lead CRC, and she's also going to be doing a little bit of what's the name of this?
In-house?
Project management.
Project management, okay.
So on the side, so it's quite interesting, and she's actually getting hired by a sponsor. It's not that she's getting hired by a site. So
wow, I'm gonna make a short video today about the importance of being a general. I'm gonna do, because I was looking for, this is a long one, but I want to do a short one on being a generalist. Right?
I was going to go that way.
Explain.
Because what happened is when they saw that she was learning everything, like with teaching the CRC that from A to C, like they become generalist. It's easier for somebody that knows pretty much how to do everything on a, in the as a CRC, like. Let's say from the side perspective, the position as a CRC, so it has more chances to get a job as a previous student, that she was the only one that was not laid off because she was the only one generalist. Do you remember that
Yeah,
story?
no, of course I remember that story. I have to check
So,
if I did a video on that because if not, I'm gonna have to do one today on this.
so is that like when you are a generalist, you have more chances than
And
anybody
everybody
else?
thinks like all the critics of this, they're being proven wrong right now. During this, it took a pandemic to prove that. But think about it, okay? How many COVID-19 specialists existed before coronavirus? Like nobody, right? But maybe you've done something in virology. Maybe you've done influenza studies. Who knows? But right now, if you're sitting at home watching or listening, and you know, okay, there's an influx. Just go on clinicaltrials.gov. There is an influx of new studies we never even imagined a few months ago. Coronavirus. Like there's tons of these studies. If you're sitting at home and saying, well, I don't have any experience, you go on Coursera, which is what I'm about to do. I just finished that breast cancer one. You go on Coursera and you take a free course or pay $40 to get the certificate on uh, on learning about viruses, right? They probably even have coronavirus classes by now.
Oh yeah, they have classes.
You see? They have
Yeah.
classes on coronavirus already. So this is what I'm talking about. Being a generalist is really being a multi-specialist. Because a specialist is only going to do one thing. They're going to probably do it better than 99% of anyone who lives on this planet. But then what happens when that goes out of demand? You know, a multi-specialist will be a specialist of many things.
Many things.
Maybe not 99% as good as everyone in the world, but maybe 80% or maybe 75, all right? You're safe. Your job is safer because you can do many things. Like, and we're starting to see this now with a lot of people. Hey, when they're interviewing them, can you do this? Do you know anything about Trial Master File? Do you know, like your friend, about project management? Do you know about coordinating? I mean, we need more. Like the student from the class, we taught her to be a generalist. She's the only one from her work that didn't get furloughed because she was doing all the stuff, right?
Yeah, she was the only one that was able to do everything that everybody else
We need to
was a
interview her too.
specialist.
We need to interview
Yeah.
her. That's a different person, right? The first story you said is someone else, and this is somebody completely different, right?
Oh yeah, two different people. Yeah, one got hired because she's a generalist, and the other one didn't get furloughed because she was a generalist.
You see?
So
Offense
two
and
different,
defense, guys.
exactly. And is I mean was not good about it. And like you were mentioning, in Coursera has so many classes. I'm doing one in Coursera and I'm doing one on EDX. And
Yep.
I noticed that EDX have the COVID class already.
Ah,
So
really? Okay.
yeah.
Which one do you like better, Coursera or EDX? Because I haven't taken EDX.
It's kind of similar, to be honest. It's
Which one
just
has
that
more, like more variety?
I think EDX have
Okay.
a lot, and then EDX have also Harvard have have really good universities. Not that Coursera is not good because it is really good. It's just that sometimes the name of the universities
COVID. Let
get
me
weird.
look. I'm
Yeah.
looking on Coursera right now. Yeah, look, COVID-19, what you need to know. CME eligible, continuing medical education credits. You can even get, this is a serious course. Okay, there's another one, COVID-19, from University of Florida. There's fighting COVID-19 with epidemiology at Johns Hopkins. Okay, so guys, pick which one you want. EDX,
Yeah.
Coursera, do both. Just become a generalist. Okay, learn more. I'm about to take one of these COVID classes myself because we might have two studies soon that I'll be involved in some capacity on COVID.
Yeah, now that we were talking about the generalist stuff and everything, my mom came to my mind. She's a registered nurse. She specialized in nutrition, but she has always been the person that she keeps on studying, studying, studying. So she's kind of a generalist.
Yeah,
And she's the person that universities go to help, to ask for her help to develop the class syllabus and stuff. I mean, because there is so much information that you can provide, and there is so
I
much job
like this.
opportunities.
I like this. I like how everything relates. Like with your mom, all the stuff she's continuous learning. I listened to a podcast this morning about artificial intelligence. You know what's the easiest type of AI? And I just thought of this now. The easiest type of AI to create is a hyper specialist.
Specialist, yeah,
The
of
most
course.
difficult, which they're saying they won't be able to do in this decade, maybe even the next one, maybe ever, is general AI.
Generally, yeah, exactly,
So learn from
exactly.
the machines, people. Learn from the machines. If you don't believe me and Monica, learn from the robots, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking right now in the EDX class, and I'm gonna tell you which one is the COVID-19. Who's
Yeah.
giving this class?
There's so many opportunities. There's so many opportunities there. The market is hot. Maybe you don't want to do COVID. Maybe you're tired of COVID. You don't have to. There's courses on everything. If you've always wanted to do oncology, there's courses on that. They're just slowly start becoming a generalist because you're hearing from Monica all these studies that are coming out. So the studies, the feasibility never really went away, right? During this whole lockdown, you were getting feasibilities like at least the same,
Yeah,
if not more, than before, right?
yeah, and we did two site selection visits.
Virtual site
Yeah.
selection visits. I remember you were calling me every day, hey, this new study, I have a question about this doctor. I mean, there's so much going on. I don't know how you keep track of it. That's another podcast. I know
Well,
you have
you know
systems.
now how I do it.
I know how you do it. It's crazy platforms you have. Technology is helping you a lot. Good job, Monica. That is really good. Um, what about so? I always tell people who forget about generalists now, even though that's important. Don't forget it, but forget about it for now. People are wanting to intern because they see that research is pandemic proof. Maybe it's not recession proof, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty stable industry, to say the least. It might be one of the best. But people are seeing this from the outside and they say, hey, I want to get in right now. Well, typically, you need experience somewhere. You need to intern, right? Like CRA Academy, CRC Academy will do this for you. But let's say they're not in our academies. They want to intern. I always tell them, look, like two things you can do that every site needs help with: getting patients and getting studies.
Yeah,
And you learned how to get studies. So you started in this industry getting patients, patient recruitment.
yeah.
But now you've also learned recently, I don't know, maybe only in the last year, that you've been getting studies. Like, how long have you been actually doing that?
I don't really remember. I start getting studies for all the sites in California, and for the ones in for the one in Arizona, and
Yeah, all the CNS sites. You started with the
yeah,
central nervous system, and then
yeah,
now we're opening up to everything. But point is, you've only been doing that maybe for a year, right?
yeah.
How difficult was it to do this? Do you need any knowledge of research, really, to get studies for people?
No, I think you need to have knowledge of selling.
That's right.
Really,
So what does
pretty
it
much,
take?
because it takes to have a good intro email to sell the site that you're applying for, and remember that every site has like a potential, or has something that stands out of the other sites.
Yeah.
Competitive advantage, that's the name. So every site has a competitive advantage. That's what I've been putting in the emails. And
I like
then
that.
going on the clinicaltrials.gov to look for the studies or the therapeutic area for the site that you're doing this, and then after that is just like being persistent, follow up, follow up, follow up. I follow up pretty much every 3 days.
Follow up is the way to go. Just to
Yeah,
remind myself, memo, note to file. I'm doing a podcast right now with Monica. I will do a short video today on number one, how anybody can intern at any clinic. The two things every site needs: patience and studies.
And studies. Yes,
Uh,
100%.
100% true.
Yeah.
And here's the beauty of those things. You almost don't need any knowledge in clinical research. I mean, if you read my book or watch that 4-hour video that I put for free on YouTube, it's enough to do these two things. More than enough.
Then there is another thing that I want to tell the public about research. That is, if you have interest, it doesn't matter which career you come from. Just remember that the skills are transferable, and then on top of that, in pharmaceutical research, you will find all type of career paths. So if you have interest in marketing, we have marketing in research. If you have interest
Mm,
for example, being working with patients, we have that in research. If you have interest, I mean,
I
you name
like
it.
that. That's
You
another
name
like short
it.
video. No matter what you've done, because this is true. When we did
Yeah,
that meetup at your place, in the conference room, there was that gal there who actually is wanting to write a ebook with me. Um, but basically, she came from like tech, and now she's applying her knowledge to clinical research.
exactly.
I
So it
interviewed a
doesn't
guy
really
with
matter.
hospitality, came from hotels, now is applying that to patient centricity. You're exactly right, Monica. Genius.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It, that's what I tell people when they call us for the CRC Academy and tell, but I don't have experience. I mean, all
Mm,
you need to have is interest in the pharmaceutical research industry, and that's it. Your career
mm,
can be transferable, and if you feel passion for whatever you feel passion,
that's right.
pharmaceutical research have that.
CRA and CRC Academy guest instructor Ashley Margot said this
Yeah.
multiple times. I've interviewed her already numerous times, and she said, and on one of our classes, CRA Academy, one of the students said, "Hey, I'm a yoga instructor. How am I
Oh,
gonna be a CRA?" And she said, "How could you not be a CRA? Look at all the stuff you have to do every day." She was teaching kids, yoga instructor for kids. Look at all the things you have to do with your kids, with your students. You're making sure that they're doing their assignments. You're making sure that they're safe. You're making like all these things. When you start thinking about it, it applies to CRA or whatever job it is that
yeah,
you want in research.
yeah. Everything applies, and every career can be transferable.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good another video. I think we can end on that note. This was a good. Unless you want to add anything else, CRA and CRC Academies both enrolling right now. Month of May, they're both
Yes,
starting. CRC Academy starts in 2 days. If you still want
yes.
to get in, if you're a healthcare worker, it's half
Perfect
off.
timing.
1,500 bucks is all you'll pay. CRA Academy is 4,000. We're starting in the middle of May, May 17th. But you get the breast oncology internship experience, which Monica is helping us on with being a lead CRA for that study. So yeah, lots of good stuff. The month of May will be very interesting for humanity because at least in the United States. I know in Europe things are opening up a little bit earlier, but this is an interesting month because this is really, I think, the last month that you kind of have time to do things you otherwise don't have time for. And it's interesting to see how people use their time.
That's right.
Good stuff. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you for this
We'll wrap it
interview.
up. Thank you very much, Monica, for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening, and we'll catch you all later. Bye bye.
Bye.